Welcome to another St. Pete by Night revamped production. The following is rated for mature audiences and may contain graphic themes that will be distressing to some viewers. As always, we recommend you ensure the safety and well-being of yourself and those around you at all times. Viewer discretion is advised.
In the heart of night, we rise from shadows, howling at the moon, igniting our battles, cleansing dire of an endless fight, until our final days we will fight. Thanks, man, we stand united as one. Evil spirits lurking with horror and dread. Little light leads us where the brave dare tread. Glory and honor, wisdom in our hand. Together we rise, take our final stand. Everywhere we run, the wind is at our back. All the warring forces we will track. From the depths of the ocean to the clouds in the sky, vampires tremble as we learn to fight. Rage across Tampa, in this fight we'll stay. Evil spirits lurking with horror and dread. Little light leads us where the brave dare tread. Glory and honor, wisdom in our hand. Together we rise, take a final stand. Rage across Tampa, in this fight we'll stay. Everywhere with the pack, let the night be our guide. In battles of honor, we shall never hide. Rock will never hide.
Good evening and welcome to the St. Pete by Night Twitch channel where we play St. Petersburg by Night, a massive multiplayer 5th edition World of Darkness Chronicle set in the city of St. Petersburg, Florida. My name is Kent, also known as Michikent on all social media. I am the lead storyteller of St. Pete by Night and the storyteller of Rage Across Tampa. That's right, it's Tuesday night, so it's time for our Werewolf the Apocalypse 5th edition chronicle set in the city of Tampa, right across the bay from St. Pete. I don't know about you, but I can't get enough of that new theme song. Like, it really does bring the werewolf energy and really brings that spark and fire in your belly for the theme of this season, which is the hunt for Bloody Mary. And tonight it is episode 36, An Unexpected Visitor, where something or someone is coming across some unsuspecting Garou to give them a pleasant or unpleasant hello, depending on how things go. But of course, I couldn't do this by myself. Let's say hello to our incredible players. Players, go ahead and introduce yourselves, if you please.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Preston, and I play Aiden Goodspeed, the Arun of the Gale Stalkers.
Hi, everybody. I'm Champ, Champagne, Kumquat, which coincidentally is Preston's safe word, whatever you want to call me, and I'll be playing Aspen Weiss, the Philodox of the Silver Fangs.
Hi everybody, I'm Nori. I will be playing Malicious Jester, the Galliard of the Black Furies.
Hi, everybody. I'm Walks, and I will be playing Lucas Shaw, the Ragabash of the Shadow Lords.
So I got a lot of crap last week for not giving my grade to Champ's introduction. So I wanted to make sure I did not skip it this week. So I am going to give your introduction a B for BDSM. Hopefully that doesn't get us taken down off of live, but that's what sparked in me for that. Speaking of last week, let's get everyone caught up as to where we were. Eliza was attacked. and Chloe was almost put in harm's way. If it wasn't for Eliza's quick thinking, she was spared from Bloody Mary herself, who did irreparable damage to the trailer that Eliza called home. The pack arrived a little too late to stop the damage that took place. However, Chloe managed to escape, and the fate of Eliza was unknown. After careful investigation, after careful reconnaissance of the situation, the scene was crawling with cops and with Bloody Mary herself as the darkness lingered in the sky. But as daylight approached, the scene seemed to clear out. As it was cordoned off, a couple of patrol cars were left behind, and the threat seemed to cease. With that, the pack went to investigate and did discover that Eliza had a secret hatch that she managed to hide in, although she had taken a great deal of damage in the process to the point that she was unconscious and it was going to take her some time to recover. They were able to pull her from the situation undetected by the forces of Bloody Mary that remained behind and retreat to give some time to recover and to decide what to do next. Throughout this process, they also met with Spud, the Thin Blood, who's been feeding them some information, and came to learn of some other valuable intel about the world of vampires, the things that hurt them, the things that can potentially give the Garou an upper hand in the battle, including the use of true holy water. Now, this isn't the holy water that you can buy at certain Christian gift stores or the kind that you can just dip your fingers in when you're walking past a church. No, it has to come from those of the highest order of true faith to be effective against vampires. But if you can get your hands on it, it's like throwing acid in anyone's face. It's like setting them ablaze, and it could do a great deal of harm. The pack also learned of the irreparable damage they themselves did to the world of Kindred when they destroyed not just one, but many, many sources of food for the Kindred with just a few simple keystrokes from a computer where they seemed to activate a kill code that destroyed many, many reserves of food, expanding further than they may even know. And the repercussions of that and what it's causing to the Camarilla court is coming more and more to light as Spud let them know that the kindred of the city were starting to get a little unsettled, that some were leaving, that others were talking about a potential uprising, and that they were having to be a little bit less cautious and a little bit more reckless in the pursuit of what they require to survive, putting them in a vulnerable position and offering some openings to the Garou. Also, leadership in the city had come into question. Whether the prince, Marius, was going to be able to retain control of his city in this new food shortage, or whether there might be some new faces moving their way into power to replace him with some new and drastic ideas and solutions. It's been a couple of weeks since the attack on Eliza's trailer. You have been working as a pack to set up a bit of a safe haven for Eliza to recover, using the campground at Lettuce Lake Park to provide some recovery and to provide a home base away from home, as it were, a fallback point if things at the primary cairn at the Memorial Gardens tend to go bad. Knowing that they seem to be growing more and more aware of your presence, you are taking countermeasures to ensure your survival and safety to the best of your ability. So tonight's story begins with Jester. Jester, you have settled Chloe and Eliza both at the campground at Lettuce Lake. You visited Chloe about a week ago, checking in with her. She was struggling, to say the very least, with the repercussions and the attack on Eliza's trailer, but she refuses to abandon her post. She refuses to abandon her responsibilities, and more importantly, she refuses to abandon her best friend, you, even if it means that she remains in harm's way. However, on this particular day, Eliza has recovered to the point that she has regained consciousness, shifting back into her Hamid form. She still bears a lot of the wounds and burn marks of the attack that she sustained from Bloody Mary, but she seems to be moving around enough that she can stand on her own 2 feet with a little bit of support. And now that you've brought in another RV camper to park at the campgrounds, you are going to resettle her into a more private space of her own rather than a curtained off section of the RV that you've been calling home for several months now. Our scene begins as you have started walking her from one RV to the other. She still seems to pause every few steps, wincing slightly and leaning heavily against you, but then resumes walking as you move from one camper to the next. The scene is yours.
Do you want me to go back and get anything?
I'm not sure there's anything to get. I don't know what the destruction was like, but the way you described it, I'm not sure anything survived.
I'm not sure either.
Jester, I want you to remember something. Because I can't say how much time I have left or how much more I have to teach. But something that I can teach you. And she pauses to sit down on a log that's placed by a campfire in the campground. She gestures to the log next to her for you to sit.
I'll sit down. Offer her a bottle of water.
She takes the bottle but sets it down on the ground instead of opening it. She looks into your eyes and places a hand against your cheek. They can take a lot from you. They can take your friends. They can take the ones you care about. They can take your possessions. They can take your life. But they cannot take your spirit. They cannot take your memories. They cannot take the things that mean the most to you. They can try. And some of the more powerful leeches, they can mess with your head real good. But deep inside you, she removes her hand from your face and points to the center of your chest. Those things are locked away safe, and they will stay with you always. I will admit, it hurts that everything that I have left of Orion is gone. But Orion himself can never be taken from me. You showed me that.
Yeah. Also, don't say you don't know how much time you have left.
I'm not naive, girl. This fight was a lot worse than I expected. I have lost several steps in my old age. And Garou don't get to live as long as I have. I consider myself lucky. But I also know I've had to sacrifice a lot to be where I am. I've had to stop caring about a lot. And a lot of the time that I've earned was because I thought I'd lost everything, including what made me a Garou. I am on borrowed time. and when my time ends, and when I do have to move on, I will do so with grace, dignity, and grateful for the extra time I had to meet you and Aspen, Aiden, Lucas, Artie. That I was given a second chance that I never thought I would get. A second chance I didn't even know I wanted. And besides, I'll get to see Joseph and Orion again.
Yeah.
But that time hasn't come yet, so don't you fret. I still got a few more miles left in me.
Good. It's not today.
Not today.
But when the time comes, I'll sing you a song.
Make sure you're a part of that song. Because
Okay.
you mean that much to me. Although I gotta tell you, she leans back and you see her wince as she favors one side where bandages cover up underneath a light dressing gown. I kind of wish I didn't have those miles after that. Oof. Did I ever tell you sometimes surviving is worse than dying?
I think you have said that a few times.
Today's one of those days. I'm glad Chloe made it out, though. That girl. She didn't want to listen, but she did. Something you and her don't have in common.
Thank you.
She is a part of this pack, just as much as every Garou that's in it. The Ghislaine, it's easy to take them for granted. Think of them as servants or assistants or soldiers, those meant to do our bidding. They may not have been given the gift of the wolf, but what they were given was a choice, and they chose us. They chose our fight. They
Yeah.
chose to stand with us rather than expose us. Where there are those with her talent, with her immunity, that have done the exact opposite. Those that hunt us, those that would see us destroyed. So she should be viewed just as much of an equal as any member of the pack.
She's always been my equal, if not better.
Don't forget that.
I won't.
So catch me up. What have you all been up to?
Well, I'm pretty sure Mary's attack wasn't random. We hit a blood bank and Artie found something in the computers that he said was like a burn it all switch that was going to cause a major blow to them. I don't really know exactly what it was. Though I think fire was involved since I think it burned a lot of the blood in the fridge. We'd managed to get a bunch out already. Aspen is using for or giving to her contact.
Can't begin to understand what most of that meant, but from the sounds of it, what you're saying is something caused a lot of resources for the leeches to be destroyed. Yes?
I think so. I understand all of it either at the time. So I believe, yeah, it's destroying a lot of their resources or their food.
Preventing a lot of people from potentially getting something they need too, though.
Yeah.
She rubs her forehead a little bit. One thing I hate about fighting leeches is that to best combat them, we also have to hurt people. Normal people, unknowing people, people who should have no part in this, just because they're so interconnected.
Yeah, it's pretty awful.
But you gotta take it in the long term. It's not about the short difficulties, it's about the long struggle. They're better off for it, even if some suffer in the meantime. We have to do what we have to do, or else who will?
Honestly, that's what I have to keep telling myself at night. I mean, there's probably a lot of people going without, especially given that it's hurricane season and people might actually need that in case of emergencies.
She nods slowly a few times. It's true, the spirits are a flurry of activity. Even as I slept, I could hear them whispering, roiling on the winds. There is a storm coming. In more ways than one, I suppose. We have to do what we have to do. We have to do the best we can and hope that Gaia will provide what is needed when she can recover.
Right.
Tell me more. You spoke a little bit last time that you have an old friend riding along with you. How's
Oh,
all that
right.
going?
I haven't. He's still here, but I haven't spoken with him very recently. Much, but I still get the memories sometimes or feelings. Yeah,
Impulses too, I'm sure.
some. Yeah. Actually, he helped me come up with a good suggestion on how to uh, infiltrate the blood bank that kind of worked out pretty well. So, and it did not involve explosions. That was his first choice, and I said no.
Old habits die hard with that one. And though he had enough experience to be as stubborn as he is, even those things don't go away with passing on.
No.
How is Lucas?
He seems okay. I mean, still stubborn, doing what he thinks is best instead of, what might be best for the pack.
Well, he's a new moon, of course he is. That's normal. But have you
Yeah.
had a chance to speak with him lately? The two of you are starting to form quite a bond. I'd hate to see that wilt because it's untended.
Not one-on-one, really, no. Um, We've been training, so that's still going on. But nothing, no deep conversations, if that's what you're asking. Why do you ask?
I know what it is to be an outcast, an outsider. Be new to something or on the outside looking in. You, Aspen, Aiden, Artie, you've had something for quite some time, something that's been nurtured and fostered and forged in fire. Lucas is still finding his way. Finding his way in to be a part of that, and may even be hesitant to do so. You being the galliard that you are, part of your responsibility is being the go-between. The one that softens the blows of the alpha. The one that mends the wounds after a run-in with the Arun. The one who occasionally sees the other side the Ragabash provides.
Fair.
You gotta sing the whole song, not just the glamorous parts. I worry for him sometimes, just because I do know what it is like to be like he is. That's all.
I'll reach out to him. A couple days, maybe we'll go to a bunch of dive bars or something. Maybe go to a baseball game he likes.
Season's coming to a close, you better hurry.
Fair. Like, he did send a text last week at a game he was at, so.
Well, I'm glad he's settling in well. He did come quite some distance to be here.
He did. Star went quite some distance to find him, so she thinks he's important. And yeah, I'll put more of an effort.
I know you will. Well, I think I need another nap. I hate it, but I still got some of these burns to recover from.
Do you still want to walk, or do you want me to carry you the rest of the way?
I'm frail, but I'm not that frail. I will walk on my own 2 feet. Hurts my heart to know that Aiden carried me out of there like a swaddled baby.
You shouldn't. It shouldn't hurt your heart. You took on the boogeyman of Tampa alone and survived. Not many can say that. Not even Ryder can say that.
She's only a boogeyman because others have allowed her to be. Because her reputation has grown. At the end of the day or night, she's just a leech, just like the others. Don't let her have that sway over you. That's how she wins. That's how she has an advantage. Her reputation precedes her, and that gives her an upper hand, but she is still a leech. She burns like them. She ashes like them. But she does pack one hell of a punch. She starts to rise, falters slightly, but eventually pushes herself back up to her feet.
I'll stand, let her lean on me.
Please make sure to tell Aspen I appreciate her visits and her tender touch.
I will.
You continue walking the last 10 yards or so to the other RV, taking her inside and kind of showing her around where you've put food, where you've made out a bed for her, getting her acquainted with her surroundings. But it doesn't take long before she is laid out on the bed, and you see her shift once again into the form of a wolf before quickly falling asleep in the bed, finding her rest. What's going through your mind as you look at the still frail gray and silver streaked wolf, patches of fur still starting to grow back in over intense, aggravated, open wounds along her form.
She looks so frail and was so close. We were so close to losing her. I was so close to losing her. But Eliza's kind of proof that just because someone looks frail doesn't mean that they are. I think she might be one of the strongest I know, given what she's been through.
We transition now to downtown Tampa, or at least the outskirts of downtown Tampa, to a fancy housing development, condos that are built just outside of downtown. Lucas, you've been wanting for some time to have a little chat with Charles, to dig into the depths of his motivations, to figure out his intentions. After the attack or the infiltration of the plasma lab, he was wounded pretty grievously in the attack after the kill code went in and the laboratory was destroyed, which he was in the process of destroying in the old-fashioned sense, and was burned pretty severely. Since then, he's retreated to his own personal safe house, a condo, a rather fancy condo, near downtown Tampa. As you reached out to him to have this little run-in, you were given an address, and now you stand outside of a large, well, decently sized apartment building with a door code, gated access, very nice, lavish apartments with porches off the side with nice white painted railings, unmarked, unmarred. As you stand outside the building, looking up towards the floor, the third floor, where you know his unit to be, what are you thinking?
Lucas looks around uncomfortably. This is not the digs that he's used to being around, nor is it what he's comfortable kind of skulking around in. He left most of what he usually carries on him in the car. He's not exactly looking forward to this conversation, but he's carrying a grocery bag and he's ready to do it.
Okay. So as you walk up to the door, you look at the numbers with the various doorbell buzzers until you find 305, his unit number. Pressing it, there's a long buzz, and after a few moments, a return buzz, and the door clicks. You pull open the door and walk in, and you're greeted by a rather luxurious lobby of sorts. There seems to be a running fountain that stands between a bank of elevators. There's doors that lead up to staircases on either side, and there is a security desk where a security guard looks up but kind of gives you a double take before going back to looking down at the bank of security monitors in front of them. Proceeding to the elevator, you press the button for the third floor, get in, and it's a very smooth ride up to the third floor. There's a ding, the door is open. You walk down a nice carpeted hallway until you stand in front of the door. 305, a gold filigree etched around the edges of the door, running along the banister of the hallway. Knocking on the door, after a few moments, you hear, "Come in."
I'll slowly open the door and come on in.
Walking in, you see a very sparse but upper class apartment. There's not a lot of personal touches to this particular place. In fact, it looks like it's staged, almost like a staged viewing or something out of a catalog of the rich and famous. There's not a lot of personal touches, and it doesn't even look very lived in. But over to one side, in a small breakfast nook of sorts near the porch, you see Charles is sat on one of the seats, his sport coat draped over the back of the chair, his shirt a white dress shirt unbuttoned as he seems to be applying some sort of salve to his side as you walk towards him. He looks up at you and then just ticks his head towards the other chair at the breakfast nook as he continues to apply the salve to his side.
I'll set the bag on the table and sit down and kind of look around. It's not a bad place you got here, Wonder Bread. Not bad at all.
I'd love to say I picked it, but I did
Well,
not.
what would you have picked? Just out of curiosity. I mean, let's be completely honest. This presents the aura that you present, so now I'm curious.
I can appreciate comfort, but I don't have a need for luxury.
More into the brutalist, minimalist aspect here, right? That's what you're talking about?
Only what's needed.
Speaking of what's needed, I got some stuff for you. And I'll start rifling through the bag and I'll pull out a 4-pack of craft beer and I'll set that down. That's jalapeno mango. So it's called Flame Drenched. You'll really like that one. That one's super good. I'll dig around in the bag some more, pull it out. These are fiery Cheetos. They might, I don't know. They might taste good too. I don't know what you like, so I just kind of went with what I had. And there's some, spicy queso dip in there too for you. So,
If I didn't know better, Lucas, I would assume you're trying to spice things up.
there he is. You got the joke. That's what's important. No shit though. That is good beer. Put that in the fridge. Drink that on a special occasion. It's good.
I suppose the success of our last operation is a special enough occasion. And he reaches over and grabs one of the bottles and pops the top off, passing it over to you before reaching and grabbing another and popping the top off.
Take it and offer the neck of the bottle for a little cheers.
He pauses for a moment, considering the outstretched bottle, but then clinks his against it.
I mean, I'll give you credit, man. I sure as shit wanted to be in that room. Not one bit. You're a tough son of a bitch.
You have to be in my family.
Your family. That's a hell of a family, man.
For better or worse.
How'd you get roped into that?
I wasn't roped into it, Lucas. I was born into it. That's the thing about my line. Very little of it comes down to choice. It's legacy, responsibility, obligation. So, based off of your reaction, it's not hard to notice your distaste.
That's such a harsh word. I
Is it
mean,
incorrect?
it's what I hear more than anything else, right? I mean, you know who I am. You know where I come from, and I don't think we're as different as people think we are. I think, honestly, out of everybody bumming around this area, you and me are more alike than the rest of them.
I could agree with that.
Grew up having a destiny. grew up around our own kind, trained before we could even read to do things that most people will never do in their entire lives. And it's creates a certain kind of person.
I suppose it does. However, the things that separate us also are worth mentioning. I stayed on the path laid out before me. You leapt off of yours, didn't you?
Leapt, thrown, I mean, it's all up for interpretation, right? That's what they do, don't they? They leave it up for interpretation.
How do we interpret what you did? Was someone else holding your clave?
No, but there was nobody else there to take care of what I saw. I
He
think
sits back in the chair studying you, his shirt still unbuttoned, but he doesn't seem to correct it as he considers the beer and then considers you. You have no reason to answer to me, but what did you see?
This story is I've told it a lot lately when I wasn't telling it a lot lately, and that's the weird thing. So I was a kin seeker. That was the first job I was given after my change. The SEP decided, hey, this kid who didn't grow up with any parents, whose parents were dead, he grew up with us, kind of a hanger on. I mean, they said I was going to change eventually. They knew it. How they knew it, I don't know. I'm not a Thurge, but they said I was going to do something. Not that great destiny that family lines have, or that epic legacy told in the books. Was just, you're just going to be one of us, and that's it. So they decided to give me a job, and that job was kin seeking. And I took it seriously, right? The Shadow Lords and the Sept, they were okay with it. Go out and find more. Bring them back. So I did. Or I tried. And the first couple ones that I went after, that I started following around, I don't know, man. Something was off the whole time. I found them pretty easy because they were, I don't know, wrong. I was on the campus, the University of Chicago, and I followed them into the basement, the engineering wing, the chemistry section, down halls that didn't seem to end, and around corners that didn't make sense. And when I finally got to them, they were there, 3 of them. And on that wall that they were all saying something to was that symbol. Those concentric circles spiraling out. So I went back. Went back to the SEP and I told them what I saw. And because they were right and I was wrong, they told me no cubs, no untrained anything, without any kind of outside influence, could have found that path on their own. And I tried. I tried to take them there. I begged them, pleaded, and even my own took the sides of the elders, which, for full transparency, were mostly Silver Fangs. Full transparency there. They just told me to keep watching and see what I saw. So I did. I went back and I followed them back to that place several times. And the last time, I wasn't as careful. And they saw me. And they struck out first. At that point, I didn't think there was really anything that could be done. So I did what I had to do. This is where that came from. They got the jump on me in their full forms before I was able to change, but luckily they hadn't been really trained to do what they need to do, and it was all instinct with them, and it was all calculated fighting with me. So at the end of it, because I'm prideful, and because I'm me, I took the trophies back to the sept, and I threw them at the feet of the elder. There was a lot of conversation after that, I'm sure you can imagine. Some took my side, some didn't, but most of my tribe cashed in their social currency, which I'm sure you can understand, to keep my head on my shoulders. And the agreement was I would never kin seek again. At that point, I didn't really have a future there, so I left. It wasn't because I wanted to leave, it was because, well, the nation does what the nation does, right? They chew you up until they can't use you anymore, and then they spit you out. And especially for us, we're just child soldiers to them. When we've outlived our usefulness, we've outlived our usefulness. And that's the story, man.
Then what are you doing here?
It's a fantastic question. I got asked to come here. I was on the road for a long time by myself, doing what I could, hitting runs, wet work, operating Ronin. But that gets old so fast, man. And we're not meant to do that. I realized that. Because I thought, hey, I don't need this. I don't need them. I'll go do what I can do by myself. I'm capable. I'm trained. No, oh man, no. Star asked me to come here. And that was a dark time. I thought about picking a hard target and just throwing myself at it. But she showed up that night instead. It showed up. They showed up. I don't really know what Star is. And so I came here. I showed up the night that everything went down. So I guess that's why Star wanted me here? I don't know.
If it was Star, could also just have been convenient, a coincidence, good timing, or perhaps a Fenris plot.
Possible. Plots are possible.
Why didn't you join them? They seem to share your ideals.
Maybe it's the indoctrination.
The same
Maybe.
indoctrination you claim the nation to have.
I didn't say I wasn't complicated. I didn't say it made sense. But I can tell you this. Despite who I am, despite what I act like, they haven't kicked me out yet.
They're young, naive even, ignorant. Potential, yes.
Yeah, you're probably right. But we did just cause the biggest disruption to leeches in Florida in age. So that's got to count for something.
A broken clock is also right twice a day.
Yeah, they can be wrong. I mean, you're also here.
That I am.
So not everybody makes decisions we all enjoy, right?
I will fulfill my duty to my family, to the nation, to Gaia.
Yeah. The duty nation. Yeah. Why? That's the part I can't piece together. I'm not the smartest person, but I'm pretty slick on things. Is what piece do the Albrits have here?
You know the name, you know the family. You know from whom I descend. The king of the Garou nation. What peace do we have here is a peace we have everywhere. A peace that was fought for, earned.
Yeah, this is a pissant corner of nowhere. No, no offense, but who did you piss off to get sent on this shitty ass assignment?
I'd be lying if I said I didn't ask myself the same question once or twice. My uncle sees potential. He has an affinity for your sept leader. And he believes she's building something worthwhile. Believe it or not, Lucas, most corners are pissant corners these days. You're not wrong. The nation isn't perfect. In truth, it probably never was. Very few things are. And mistakes were made. The Garou are more divided than ever. And unity is necessary for success. What is shattered must be healed or rebuilt. But it needs to be done carefully. It needs to be done intelligently. And we need to all have the same goals in mind. Why was I assigned here? I'll tell you. To tell my uncle what you were up to. To report back, to see if you were going to be a problem or an asset. To see if his investment in Miss Weiss was paying off or not. And because he does have interest in this area. And if the work you do is good, and you are able to succeed in overthrowing the leeches here, there will be a gap. in the industrial sector, in the financial sector, there will be fallout. And he could profit from that. He could gain influence. He could gain property. He could gain a lot. Tampa is a ripe city for export-import industry. Even the airport is a hub of sorts. It would be very beneficial, a benefit that the Garou have not had access to since its inception.
Okay. I mean, yeah, that sounds about exactly as I expected. So when it's all said and done, if big ifs, right? We talk about that. We take control. Cairn is active. An actively clean, open Cairn invites more of our kind. Your benefactor comes in, takes over financial, real estate, industrial institutions. What's left over for Aspen?
I don't believe my uncle has any intentions to take away what Aspen has earned. He respects her. He respects her position and her intentions. But he understands that she is young, that she is going to need some time to find her footing. She's going to need a mentor and a benefactor to secure her position.
Then you relocate? You stay?
I don't know.
What do you want, Charles?
That's never much mattered now, has it?
Come on. Bullshit. What do you want? I'd tell you my lips are sealed, but you know me better than that. But come on.
What I want, I fear I cannot have.
Why not?
Because you can't reverse time.
You are the pot calling the kettle black in this situation, man. I can't go back either. You know that.
Then what does it matter what I want if I can't have it?
You said it yourself. Right? We're building something new here. Like, I know I have this reputation. I get it. I get it. Ragabash, Shadow Lord, resident asshole. I get it, right? But I can't shake one thing because you're not wrong. Sometimes it does hit me that I want to go, that this may not be worth it. But there's just one thing, and that's that goddamn pack. Right? Yeah, we're young. And you say them, hey, you're in that bubble too. We're all young. We've all done stupid shit. Right? But I can tell you something. whether she wants it or not, I would be her red right hand. Even if I never told her about it. What needed to be done, I would remove any obstacle out of the way. Because I do think she's got a vision. I do think she has this grand plan. And I hate Silver Fangs. They ruined everything for me in Chicago. But I'll be damned if I don't trust that one. Whether she trusts me or not, whether you trust me or not, I don't really care. And am I going to do some shit that I'm not going to ask permission for from you or her or any of the other ones? Yeah. Hell yeah, I am. But I'm going to do it with the pack in mind? Yep. Because I believe in what she's building here. That's why I don't run away. That's why I don't leave. Because here, I can be something new. All that shit in the past doesn't matter. And that should apply to you too. I maybe have a smidgen more trust for you now, but you're and her's benefactor? No. That stinks to me. That stinks. If I control the money, I control the facilities, I control everything else, that means I'm in control. And that doesn't sit well with me. Now, I'm not going to get like I get. I won't. This is more of a complicated situation than that, but I want you to think about that too. That you can be who you want to be here. Even if we have screwed some shit up. And probably will screw some more shit up. Yeah.
Those are some very fine words, Mr. Shaw. And while I agree, you are an asset in this current iteration of this sept, of this pack, of this nation. No matter how many obstacles you remove, as long as you continue to be an obstacle, you will one day have to be removed as well.
Well, I guess that day is going to be when we see what happens when the irresistible force meets the immovable object, right?
If I may ask you a question. Do you truly believe you did what you had to do? Not what you wanted to, not what you were tempted to, what you were required to do, what your duty to Gaia, to your sept, to the nation required you to do that night.
I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. I think a part of me saw them for what they were. And I mean, you're the Arun and I'm the Ragabash, but that doesn't mean neither one of us don't feel it. And I saw them and I wanted to rip them apart for what they were. I'm not going to say that wasn't there. It was. But the only other option was let them rip me apart. So did I do what I wanted to do? No. I wanted to not have to do that, but I did what I had to do.
Self-defense?
Yeah, the oldest law playbook there is, right? Self-defense. Aspen will tell you that.
Do you believe you could have escaped? Or was
Maybe.
that the only option?
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. It was fast. You've been in those fights before. It was fast. And I was young and stupid. So maybe I could have. But I didn't. And I don't pretend it doesn't haunt me.
I understand.
You have a place here. And I say that because that's what they say to me. I'm a little bit more blunt than most people, but you have a place here. I may not like you very much. You may not like me very much. But you got a place here, man. Just gotta find it.
I have many places I can choose from. You have no others. It makes sense why you would accept it.
Maybe you're right. But I'm also happy with that choice.
For now.
Yeah. For now. Well, hey, do you need anything?
No, I believe that is all, Mr. Shaw.
He'll go to stand up and then look around and look back and said, "Hey, I'll you want me to send Aspen over here to wiggly fingers you a little bit?"
I'll be fine.
Okay. I mean, that ointment, that stuff stinks. So have fun with that.
He doesn't say anything. And after a moment of silence, you make your way out, closing the door behind you, descending the stairs, or going down the elevator and leaving the building. But as you look back up toward the porch where you were sitting, you see that he is no longer sitting there as you make your way back to your truck and head off. Later that week, in another part of town, in an apartment building, we find Aspen and Artie in their apartment. It's not nearly as fancy as the one Charles is living in. It is, for all intents and purposes, an efficiency or a studio apartment with very little in terms of amenities other than those that they have brought themselves or those that Artie had before Aspen moved in. Today, we find them sitting at Artie's desk, the bank of monitors in front of them, his fingers rapidly running over the keyboards. He looks over to you. So, I've looked at churches, I've looked at synagogues, I've looked at mosques, I have a whole list here. Why are we doing this?
Well, you remember our informant, or that Spud wizard. He is looking to get a holy water, but it can't just be from anywhere. He says that we'll know it when it's around, but it's not just something you can pick up from a church. So I was thinking maybe we could look into something more if you could deep dive and find religious zealots, weird forums, something more.
I could, yeah, that's not hard to do. There are entire corners, sections of the internet where you can find all of that. But I never question your judgment. I'm not one to step on your toes. And I'm really glad that this whole relationship with Gandalf has paid off really nicely. But the guy does call himself a wizard, and now he's talking. Are we sure he's not nuts? I mean, like, I'm glad that, again, the information's been great, but, like, holy water, churches, that kind of thing? Like, are we sure this isn't like we're joining a cult or something? Because we've already got one cult problem. We don't need another cult problem.
No, I think he's, I guess, a man desperate for closure.
So now we're leech therapists?
No, we're just helping each other out. He wants something and we want something, and they just happen to coincide. And he hasn't, trust him, I don't know. Not exactly. But he has not led us astray so far.
Okay. Just figured it's worth asking. Wouldn't be doing my job, or I guess Lucas's job now, if I didn't ask. Well, I've got a pretty extensive list here from, the big mega churches all the way down to the small neighborhood ones, of pretty much every denomination you can think of. I've even got one that is the Church of Steve, which is probably a tax evasion thing. I can start narrowing them down if there's anything. I did take Scientology off right away. That gives me the heebie-jeebs. I don't know why. Just figured it would be best to just rule that right out, just right off the get.
Right, if we're avoiding cults, it's probably
right.
best, right?
But yeah, so how do you want to go about this? What do you like? I could try and narrow them down based off of followers. I could try and I got a lot of avenues here. There's a lot of possibilities.
I was thinking if there was any way we could find possible connections to talks of, I don't know, maybe if there's talks of vampires or werewolves or something along those lines where they get weird, maybe that could steer us in a interesting direction.
So you want to get like more the occult bend and less the religious bend.
That's what I'm thinking. Based off of what he was speaking of, it seems like it's very niche. And if it's connections to us and it's something he knows about, then it could be more on a cryptid, culty, take down what goes bump in the night type people. I don't.
Well, I did hear, take this for what it is, but I know there's like this podcast going around, Tampa Bay Terrors. They talk about things that go bump in the night. I wouldn't call them a religion or anything, but that's something that I've heard coming across every now and then. And they've been talking about explosions over in St. Pete and all kinds of nonsense like that. But it's something. I could try and see if there's anything linked to that, or I don't know. Monster hunters. That's a danger. Like, that's cutting it a little close because we are the monsters they're hunting in their eyes. Do we want to tempt that?
Can you think of another option?
No, you're probably right.
I think we're absolutely hitting dangerous territory, but I think I guess the more dangerous it gets, the closer we are to making the right moves.
Okay.
Not
You
that I
turn-
want us to put ourselves in unnecessary danger, of course, but it's seems like it's been a trend for us. So
Not wrong there. He turns and starts typing rapidly again, and windows start opening, and search fields start filling and closing, and another window opening as he rapidly works. And for the next 15 or so minutes, he just types in silence, that being the only soundtrack to what's going on. What's going through your head as he continues to do his work, seemingly zoned completely in on what he's doing?
Aspen is a bit distracted. So she's watching, she's trying to figure out the best possible option, looking at what he's doing. But there was something that Spud had mentioned in their last conversation about not being what he's supposed to be, and that we're not supposed to be what we're supposed to be. And talks of him being able to not be that anymore. And the implications of that kind of have gone through her head since that discussion.
Okay. So you think about a life that could be, a life that you had closed the door on in your mind, at least most of the way, some months ago. There's now a sliver of light coming through once again, a temptation of possibilities. Eventually, the tapping of keys stops. Okay, he says. And he turns one of the screens to face you, and you see a website that is the Church of the Avenging Redeemer. This is a group. I'm not sure if I would call them a legit organization, but they are a collection with a small but serious following. They are, this website looks like something made on Wix or GeoCities, but based off of some of their rhetoric here, they are very serious about monster hunting and things that go bump in the night. A lot of talk about cryptids, more notoriously Florida-based cryptids. Some even believe that they've seen Slender Man in the city, which, take that as you will. But yeah, this is the most serious, legit thing that I could find so far.
Okay, yeah. Let's look into that. Do they have any meeting places or any forums about where they meet with their church?
Looks like they've got nothing listed here officially, but they do have a contact form. I could set up a dummy email account, possibly reach out to them and see what happens.
That would be perfect. Yeah, it's a thread for sure. It could be nothing. Could be a bunch of weirdos carrying around stakes and crossbows, or it could be something legitimate. I guess we'll have to see.
Well, now that we know that vampires are real, even if they are weirdos carrying stakes and crossbows, I guess they're kind of legitimate, even if they don't know it.
Yeah, I guess.
Are we... I know we've got a lot on our plate, and I know we're looking for every advantage we can get. Are we potentially spreading ourselves too thin? We got the therapist angle we were working on. We've got the cult still. We've got... there's a lot going on. How do you feel about all this? What angle are we doing? I'm all there for the Go team talks, but what are we doing, Aspen?
Trying. Trying the best we can. I don't know. The cult is one thing. I don't know how much we're gonna get from that in the grand scheme of things. And honestly, I think it's just one more thing that we is more pain than it's worth. The therapist thing, it's still an option, but with it being right in the belly of the beast, that's scary. And I guess the holy water is something we haven't tried yet, and it could be something, and it's something that is tangible and that I can follow.
What if he's just throwing us away? What if he got what he wanted out of us and now he's tossing us into our doom? You know, what if he's throwing us at fucking monster hunters to be killed by them so that we're one less obstacle to what he really wants? I mean, he's a fucking leech. One way or another, no bets about it. He's a leech.
Yeah, but what else is there?
I don't know. I don't envy you. I'm just here to support you. You know that. And I just want to keep you safe. I know you got plenty of people to do that. You got Aiden and Charles and everybody wanting to keep you safe. But after what happened with with Eliza and I just want to make sure that we are aware of what's happening around us, that we aren't being distracted or led down the wrong path only to get ambushed or to get, screwed over. I mean, what if this is a Mary power play and she's using this Spud guy to, I don't know, do something? I don't trust a lot of people. You are one of the only ones I trust truly. Aiden, Jester, you. I don't trust that this isn't some sort of manipulation, and I really don't want us to get bit by it. Pun intended.
I'd be lying if I said I didn't agree. I think no matter what option we take, it's a potential for harm. The therapist is right in Bateman's area, in his domain, in his building. And the cult, they're just waiting to get the upper hand on us. I'd be stupid if I thought otherwise. And this leech, he's a leech, right? But what else can I do at this point? I've got Lucas, who doesn't listen. He doesn't respect me. I don't think he even really cares about the thing in the grand scheme of things. I have Charles, who thinks he can do it better. I'm just trying.
Let me tell you something about Lucas. Lucas is a ragabash without a crush. I've been doing a disservice to my moon with you just because I think you got a cute butt. But Lucas is. He's a Shadow Lord and a ragabash. That's a double whammy. And the fact that you think he doesn't trust you means he trusts you. Because if he didn't trust you, you'd be thinking he does trust you. Do you get what I mean? Like, what you're feeling is the opposite of what's true with him. Because he's, like I said, he's a double whammy. He's a double negative. He cancels himself out. So the fact that you think he doesn't trust you means he probably trusts you more than you would believe. And it's his ragabash nature showing to make you think he doesn't, because he doesn't know how to express that trust. He doesn't think he's allowed to express that trust. That it's okay. But I legitimately think he does trust you. If I'm reading the situation right, and I've been doing a pretty good job as our own pack therapist, I think he's coming around with you, and I think that he is. It's just his nature to be like he is. I don't think he's trying to undermine you. As for Charles, I don't know how that guy has an opinion with that fucking necktie choking off the oxygen to his brain, but there are eyes on us, not just leech eyes anymore. And after that cairn got set up, we drew a lot of attention to what we're doing. That means the cult, but that also means what's left of the nation, whatever is the nation anymore, or what wants to be the nation.
Which is exactly why I have to exhaust every possible option. At the end of the day, this all falls on me.
It falls on us, not you. You are our alpha, yes. You are our leader. But each and every one of us will stand with you and succeed with you or fall with you, and we will take the brunt of whatever happens. Your name might be on the building, but we all live in it. And we all built it, and we all maintain it. And if it falls, we all fall with it. So stop carrying the burden that this is on you. You're making the call we would all make if we were in your shoes. Even Lucas, even though I'm sure he would argue otherwise. Anyway, I will take this as my project. Let me do this church thing. I'll set up the email account. I'll reach out to them, see if I can get a meet or something. I can play supernatural for a little bit. You keep your eye on the whole picture, okay? Don't chase any leads. Just keep delegating. Keep doing your leader thing. This will be my thing. Let Aiden do whatever Aiden's thing, Jester's thing, Lucas' thing. You've got to keep your eye on everything.
Okay. Do my best.
You're doing a great job.
Thanks.
Anyway, enough work for tonight. He taps a few keys and the screens flip off. Why don't we go out? We'll get some dinner, maybe go to a movie, just be normal people for a night, or at least fake it really good.
Fake it for a night, I think.
You deserve a break.
Okay. But after we have to go check on Eliza, gotta go make sure she's doing okay.
We will.
Okay.
Let's go see the new Beetlejuice. It's spooky season. With
You know
that,
how to get me.
you both get up and head out to have a lovely evening together. We transition to a few nights later at the Memorial Gardens. Aiden, it's your night to watch the cairn, to patrol, to keep an eye on things, with Chloe still recovering from the attack on Eliza's trailer. Eyes haven't been as secure on the Sept cairn as they have in the past, so the pack has been dividing up the responsibility of checking on things. But you're here with more than one purpose in mind tonight. What's going through your head?
Trying to keep in mind the conversation that Charles and him had before the fight and after. That there's more to being a Garou than just the Arun part of it. Need to understand every aspect of it, and that includes understanding the spirits. He's tried having Eliza teach him, he tried having Joseph teach him, and he's got some of it, but there's one who understands the spirits more than any of them, and that's a spirit themselves. So the intention, reluctantly, is to go and talk to Grandmother Willow alone without anybody else there, which he's never done before, which is a little scary because he can't comprehend this whole spirit side of things.
Okay. So as you approach the base of the large, outstretched willow tree, feeling the uptick of the breeze on your skin, there doesn't seem to be any reaction at first. You are just standing by the tree. What do you wish to do?
Look at the tree up and down, kind of like pace back and forth, and finally saying, I don't know what I'm doing. I gotta talk to a tree. Okay. Like a phone call. Hi, Grandmother Willow, it's me, Aiden. I think you can see, but I am wanting to talk to you about teaching me about your side of things. This whole Garou aspect, the fighting I can get, the wolf thing I understand. I get some of what's going on because of Eliza and Joseph, but I feel like I need a deeper understanding of what it is that you actually do. Thanks. Looking forward to hearing from you.
Okay, I'd like you to make a roll, but I'll give you a variety of options. Because I know that social things aren't necessarily your strong suit. Charisma or manipulation, and persuasion, occult, or politics.
That's a fun thing. That's 2 on all of those.
Then roll it.
Okay. 1.
1 is all you needed.
Oh, thank God.
With that, the wind picks up, the leaves stir, and a single leaf drops from the high branches and starts to fall, drifting on the wind until it lands in your outstretched hand.
No meat or anything. It's always leaves with you. Okay. You'll then eat it.
Chewing on the leaf, you get that kind of sticky, very almost acidic taste in your mouth. Your vision starts to blur. Your ears start to kind of prickle as if the sensations of sound are shifting and changing. And before you know it, you are sitting at the base of the tree or standing. But you're not alone, as sitting across from you at the base of the same tree is the ethereal white wolf, who sits on the long, outstretched roots that seem to go deep into the earth beneath your feet. The wolf cocks its head to the side, and if it could furrow its brow in a doggy fashion or a wolf-like fashion, it does. What do you want? It says in a very like flat, slightly feminine tone.
Hi, I was wanting to talk to Grandmother Willow.
She's busy. Talk to me.
Okay, I want to know more about spirits. Is that something you could help with?
Why?
Have been told that that's something that I need a better understanding on to be a better Garou. And that's something I'd like to be.
The spirit snorts slightly, as if in disdain at the comment. Who told you that?
Guy named Charles. You might, I don't know if you've seen him around. Tall, blonde, walks with like really good posture, shoulders back, suit.
Sounds like a dickhead.
Yes. I'll take a quick look and make sure that he's not around. Yeah, no, I totally he is.
Okay. I'll tell you what I can. What do you want to know? Like, what spirits are, what they do, they smell like what?
A beginner's course. You guys smell?
Yeah. Everything
Oh,
smells. You're a
that's fair.
lupus born, you know that.
Yeah, even things I shouldn't smell, I wish I couldn't smell.
All right. What can I say? You're there. We're here. Although I guess we're kind of everywhere. Most of the time, you can't touch us, taste us, see us, smell us, except what we are when we're there. I don't know, man. It's kind of like it's like a give and take thing, right? Like we're here because you're there and you're there because we're here. We exist because of each other. And what you do affects us, and what we do affects you right back. So we kind of need each other, and you, being a Garou, are like you're like the weird one night stand of spirits and humans and wolves, like a three-way went wrong.
What's a three-way?
Oh, that's a movie. You'll see it someday, I'm sure. So it's like you're a mix of all those things, which is why you can talk to us, but you can also talk to them, and you can also do your own thing. Like you could do the werewolf thing, but you can do the human thing, and you can also do the spirit thing, right?
Okay.
Because you're a bit of all of that. Like a mixing pot of disgusting, but
Like a wet
awesome at the same
BLT.
time. Yeah, yeah. So why spirits are important is because you know about them. You know which gives you kind of an advantage that normal humans don't have, that people don't have. You get to see how it works beyond what is shown to you, beyond what the Weaver and the Wild and the Worm and Gaia and all that shit shows you. You get to see behind the curtain, like seeing how the movie gets made. You know what I mean? It's kind of fucked up, for sure, but it's important because you got to know that when you destroy things, you're not just destroying a car, for example. That car has a spirit. Most things have spirits. So the things you do impact them, and if you don't want to be fucking pissing off every spirit you see, you got to kind of know that and be respectful of that to a certain degree. But also, some spirits deserve a fucking ass kicking.
Yeah, those fire ones suck.
Yeah. Those are Banes. Yeah. So knowing them, knowing the difference, knowing that you got to respect all sides of you, right? So you can't be shitty to humans because you're part human now. You can't be shitty to wolves because you're part wolf now. You can't be shitty to spirits because you're part spirit now. You know, like, unless you're one of those like Fenris people, you can't hate a certain tree of your family because then you're not complete. You're not balanced. You're not whole. You can't ignore a part of what you are, and we're a part of what you are. And knowing how to work with us, knowing how to talk to us, knowing how to, you know, I don't know, use us is part of what's going to help you fight. I mean, even the things that you do that you think are just you being a big badass, they use us. Like that a little wind you do, a little, you know.
Yeah.
Use
That comes
spirits
from
to
my
do
patron.
that. Yeah.
Wait, my
So if
patron's
you're-
a spirit?
Yeah.
Oh.
Everything's a fucking spirit, dude.
Well, that makes a lot more sense. No one told me that. They said you have a spirit and then there's patrons.
Yeah. From the water in the river to the animals you eat, there's kind of spirits associated with it. Now, that doesn't mean you shouldn't hunt, you shouldn't do the things you normally do. Like, you got to continue to live your life. You got to continue to survive. You just got to understand that, like, some spirits are going to like you more than others. You hunt to make your patron happy. But the things you're hunting also have spirits that like them, and they might be a little pissed off that you're fucking killing them. So you gotta find a way to like even the scales, or you just gotta know that some spirits aren't gonna like you. So
Yeah,
if you need something from them, they might be a little shitty about giving it to you.
Okay. Yeah, because I gotta have a fresh kill every day. So I'm sure I've made some spirits pretty angry about that. But
Maybe.
I
Doesn't
gotta
mean
do what
you
I
have to
gotta
be the
do.
one doing the killing, though. You just have to eat it. You
Yeah.
like doing the killing. Trust me, I get it.
It just seems more fair that way.
Yeah, you earned it. But also, don't forget in all this change, don't forget your instincts. Don't overhunt areas. Don't take for granted, don't challenge yourself too much to go after the strongest, because the strongest need to survive, to breed, to make more strong ones,
Right. Yeah, I have a rotation that I go on.
It's good.
I feel like I can tell it. I'm out on Lettuce Lake, and so I do a rotation out there.
As you mention Lettuce Lake, you see their head kind of tick slightly, like their ears flap a little bit, but okay. That's good. Yeah. That's I mean that's the most of what it comes to with spirits. Like that's the most of what you got to know. You can learn more, you can get more, but as long as you know it's all part of the tapestry of fucking existence. And no part of it is more important than any other.
Okay.
That's what you're fighting is that's this whole fucking war, is that the balance got off. Certain parts of the tapestry got a little too big for their britches or got out of control, and now we need you to right the scales to balance it all out, to fix it. At least that's what, as far as I know.
Okay. No, that's a little more helpful. I have a new a pup that is working with spirits a lot. And if he ever does come up and ask questions, I want to be able to answer them, kinda. So that this was helpful.
Pretty sure he's smarter than you by now.
It's not hard to do, so yeah, I'm sure.
It's all right. You don't have to be the smartest one to know what's going on, or to be helpful. Like knowing about it and being book smart about it are two different things. As long as you understand the concept that the circle of life extends a lot further and deeper than you think it does. You were born with the instincts. You were born with that understanding. It's just a little bit more, a little bit deeper, and a little bit more complicated. But it's the same idea. Everything needs to balance itself out. The worm, as fucked up as it is still necessary. You can't get rid of it because we need it to decay so that new things can grow. Problem is, it got too much. Too much decay is happening. It needs to be, I don't know, set right. Maybe it got corrupted. Maybe humans didn't realize the effect they have on spirits. I mean, that's what I'm saying, is like, they don't know. You know. But they don't know that when they build a new city, they're throwing the wild off, and the weaver's getting a little too strong. Or when they pollute, the worm's getting a little too strong. But all three need to be around for Gaia to exist, live, whatever.
Okay, so let's say we get the balance where it needs to be and everything is right. How do we keep the balance?
You mean you? Let's say you do that. I'm on
I
this
have to.
side, you're on that side.
Okay, so I have to keep the
Oh,
balance.
yeah, okay, right. So, how do we keep it?
Yeah.
We gotta get there to figure out that part, don't we?
So kind of the cross the bridges as they come up kind of thing.
Yeah.
Okay. I hate that.
Well, I didn't say I was a good plan maker.
No, you also the last wolf I met here didn't give me their name. Do you have a name? Do you have a name?
You'll have to earn that.
Oh my god.
But that was me too.
Oh. Well, I haven't earned it since the last time then?
No.
Oh, what do you need? I feel like just... Okay.
You're getting
Well,
there.
Alright, so keep doing what I'm doing.
Yeah. But you got your ass kicked, and I saw it, and it was embarrassing.
Hey, I got a few good hits in. That dude's fast, alright? And then he... When you're underwater, I figured, like, hey, let's kind of go back up. No, I'm going to grab your ankle and beat you some more. So now I know that's one of the rules you can do, so... I'm a quick learner for the most part, so now I know, even in water, rule, you can still continue. There's no, like, understanding, like, let's get air.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. But yeah, that was Charles, that guy.
Yeah. Yeah, he's better than you. Still an asshole, but better than you. I'd probably
Thanks.
tell him my name if he asked.
Maybe I should have him come here and ask, so then I can know it.
No.
But okay. So in order to earn your name, I can't have him do that.
No.
You're kind of annoying, but that's fine. You're also helpful in a way.
Yep.
All right, Wolf without a name. If I need to come back and talk about things, can I just come and ask for you? Because a few times I've come here in the past, you've been here. Can I just talk to you directly?
I guess.
Okay. So in order to talk to you, do I just ask for pretty white-ish wolf thing?
No, you just do what you did and grovel like a little baby bitch, and she'll give you a leaf, and then I'll be here to make fun of you for it.
How many people do you get to come back with this? Like, does this work? Is this something I should adopt? Like, so do you have a lot of people coming back?
Oh.
All right. I will continue to do what I'm doing then.
I'll tell
in
you
order
what. Each time
Okay.
you visit, I'll give you a letter. How's that sound? You know letters, right?
I know some, yeah. I can spell my name.
Okay. E. Come back and ask for E.
Ask for E.
Yeah.
Okay. I can do that.
But, like, don't ask that weird fucking guy for E, because you'll get something else.
Weird fucking guy.
Yeah, you're magician,
Oh, my potato wizard?
I guess.
Yeah, I'm not allowed to take things from him anymore.
Probably a good idea.
All right, well, E, thank you. This has been very helpful. I will try and come back and have another delightful conversation with you.
I'll be counting the days.
I won't be. But how do I end the call?
You see her give out a big yawn and then sneeze, and as the sneeze hits, you snap out of it and you find yourself blown back on the ground, looking around, and the daylight that was up above as you started the conversation is gone now, and it's dark.
Hey, Grandmother Willow, your dog is not very nice, but it was very helpful. Thank you. I'm gonna go back on my patrol now. I don't know, blow the wind loud if you need me. Okay, bye. He'll walk off.
As you head back on patrol, we're going to take a 5-minute break. When we return, an unexpected visitor arrives on some unsuspecting Garou. Stay tuned. We'll be back in about 5 minutes. See you shortly. And we are back from our break. In the first half, we saw the various members of the pack having some important conversations, interactions, doing some investigating, doing a little bit of confronting, and some of them even hashing out issues of their past. As we catch up to the present day, there is a storm on the horizon. As out in the Gulf, winds have started to pick up, rain has started to increase, and a storm is forming over Cuba, projected to take the form of a hurricane, coming close to, if not directly at, Tampa Bay. However, another storm has started in the region of Tampa because the Garou of Tampa have caused quite a stir that has sent ripples outwards across not just the entire city, but the entire world of darkness, at least in this region. And the world of darkness has a tendency to answer. As we start the second act, we find ourselves in Lettuce Lake Park, the home that once belonged to Aspen and Aiden, then just Aiden, then Aiden and Jester, and now Aiden, Jester, Eliza, and Chloe for the time being. They've built up what was once just a single RV to now contain two RVs as a bit of a campground, as this community, this safe haven, this refuge forms. But as we know, in the world of darkness, nothing stays safe for long. There is no true refuge from the dark. So, after the attack on Eliza's place, I assume when not busy doing other duties, the two of you have divided up the task of patrolling, protecting, and guarding, especially now that you have guests present that have been in the process of recovering in the form of Eliza and now the Ghislaine Chloe, who, while she can be helpful, she can only be helpful so much. Have you had them also take shifts, or at least have Chloe, as she is sound of mind and body, take shifts in protecting? How have you set up your defenses for Lettuce Lake Park is my question.
That would be more of a Jester thing. Do you want Chloe out and about?
Not patrolling, but she could watch the campsite itself and give some sort of. We might be able to set up some sort of thing where she can give us a warning.
Okay.
Okay.
It's very, very, very early in the morning. Your shifts have ended as you've made sure that at least one of you is awake during the night and you've settled down. Chloe agreeing to take the early morning shift when light is out, knowing that vampires aren't really a threat, that the only threat is going to be people, and based off of her ability to alert you, which you have tested and retested and retested several times to make sure that it is working, you feel very confident, especially after weeks of no incidents or events happening, that the two of you can at least sleep away some of the daylight hours before going about your business during the rest of the day. I need both of you to roll me a wits and awareness test at a -2 dice pool because you are both asleep.
Are we still at 2 rage?
You are at 2 rage.
With being Wolfborn, am I still removing the additional dice from anything listening, hearing, or listening or scent?
You are, because you are unconscious. You are
Okay.
fully unconscious at this time. All right. 1 success for Jester, 3 successes for Aiden. Aiden, you are roused suddenly as the can on a string, or maybe, buzzer that you've given Chloe starts to go off, but then cuts off suddenly.
Going to run over to wherever Jester's at. Hey, wake up!
What?
Sound. Chloe's outside. She
Up.
alerted. Yep, let's go.
Okay. So, Jester, you are groggy at first as you wake up. What are you both doing? You're inside the RV currently.
Going to Lupus.
I'll stay at Hamid right now, but I'm heading straight out.
Okay. So, dropping down into Lupus, are you heading immediately out of the RV?
Wherever Jester was sleeping. Once he gets her up, dropping from Lupus at that point, and then heading out.
Okay. As you burst out of the door of the RV, you look over to the campfire where you usually see Chloe is positioned, usually making breakfast, and you can find her slumped in the camping chair, just kind of leaned back, arm loose, and the buzzer that was in her hand dropped to the ground. What is suspicious, however, is that the door to Eliza's trailer is open. Now, maybe not that suspicious, but it is currently open.
Going to look over towards Chloe, then to Jester, and then look over to Eliza's, and going to make my way over to Eliza.
I'm gonna go check on Chloe first.
Okay. So as you approach Chloe, Jester, you get over to her body and you can see that she's leaned back, kind of slumped, and that she's just breathing in long, slow, deep breaths. She doesn't appear to have any injuries on her. Nothing seems unusual about her circumstance, but roll me a wits and science roll, if you please.
Just to ask. My specialty, environmentalism, doesn't count, right?
No, not in this
Okay.
case.
2 successes.
As you get close to her and you can see that she's breathing deeply and slowly, you pick up a faint foreign odor coming from around her mouth, or the skin around her mouth. Something chemical. Aiden, as you approach the door to the trailer, are you just heading on in? Are you...
While walking in, checking to see if any footprints or any additional smells of anyone that isn't recognizable.
Roll me a wits and awareness. Or wits and investigation.
2.
2 successes. Okay. Looking over the campground, it's kind of hard to tell. The ground has been tread on several times. You're not getting a lot in terms of footprints or anything obvious, as there's a lot of traffic. But now you, Jester, Eliza, and Chloe walking around the campsite, the ground is very trodden, especially near the RVs themselves. However, as you draw close to the RV, you do hear faint, slow footsteps of someone moving through the RV at a very purposeful but trying to go undetected pace. You also hear the snoring of Eliza inside.
Okay. Going to run into, not trying to be sneaky at all, run into Eliza's as Lupus and see if the who was walking around inside.
Okay. As you climb up the stairs into the trailer, give me a dexterity and athletics roll, please.
Five.
You duck your head in long enough to see an individual dressed head to toe in the same riot gear that you saw the individuals escorting Bloody Mary wearing whip around and unload with a rifle in your direction. The bullets flying out towards the other side of the RV, peppering against the wall. However, you are quick enough to duck back out of the RV as the gunfire lets off. Roll me one more wits and awareness check.
Four with a crit.
As the bullets are whizzing by, you see a silver glint to the bullets as they strike the wall past you.
Okay. Is it possible to let out a howl to try and alert Jester and then go? I'm gonna go into Krynos.
Sure. You can do that, yeah. So go ahead and make the 2 rage checks.
Passed one, failed one.
Okay. Jester, you hear a howl from Aiden as he comes running out. You hear the gunfire, although it seems muffled by a silencer as the rounds strike the metallic, exterior or interior of the RV itself. But Aiden jumps out and immediately starts shifting upward. Aiden, inside as you shift, you hear the snoring get cut off by a alerted yelp. Jester, what are you doing?
So I have set up this RV for Eliza. How big are the windows in the actual like bedroom area? Could I be able to
As
climb in?
they're RVs, I would say they're like small bay windows. They're not really meant for, climbing in or out. If you're a werewolf and you need to get out of an RV, you could probably just rip the wall open. So you probably weren't thinking too much about, getting
Right.
in or out that way.
Okay.
Plus, you were on a budget, so it's not.
Yeah, I'm gonna shift into Krynos
Okay.
and
Give me the
head over to the RV.
2 rage checks.
Made one, failed one.
Okay, so as you both assume your war forms, going back on your 2 legs, growing large, hair spreading out across your body, your muzzles extending outward, filled with sharp razor teeth, you approach the RV. What are you doing?
Going to make my way to the riot geared individual with the shotgun.
Are you
and-
actually going in?
Yeah, going in.
Oh, okay.
Making his way in and then going to try and rend the shotgun away.
So before you do that, I would say as you enter this scenario, because you've stepped out of the RV, which means you've broken line of sight. As you go in, before you can act, you see the riot geared individual holding the lupus form of Eliza with the gun held firmly against her head. And in a modulated voice, you hear, "I wouldn't do that if I were you."
I can't talk in this form. Going to take a few steps back. You said there's windows.
Mm-hmm.
But are we tall enough to be able to see in through the windows in the Krynos form?
You could, but based off of where they're positioned, they're not like right next to a window. And if you did so, they'd probably have enough time to fire off.
Okay. Going to look back and see Jester adjusting into Krynos. Body's not gonna like that. Going to go to Glabro so I can speak to this guy.
Okay. As you've backed out of the RV, you can see the individual standing up and moving forward, dragging the wolf form of Eliza in their arms, who is trying to struggle, but after seeing the situation, kind of holding still for the moment. As they exit the RV, holding the gun still to the wolf form. They use the entryway of the RV itself as cover, just having the exposed entrance in front of them. So what's the play?
You came here.
And you're surrounded. We can do this the easy way, or we can do this the hard way.
Okay. Well, what'd you come here for?
Pest control.
We already got our flea and tick things taken care of, so we should be all right.
I'm going to shift to Hamid again.
As you shift to Hamid, both of you give me a wits and insight check. Okay. Jester, you see this riot-geared individual stiffen slightly as you take your human form. They kind of jerk their head in your direction, but then immediately look back to Aiden. And you can see the gun in their hand shaking ever so slightly.
You seem a little scared. I'm going to activate animal magnetism. And I'll make my rage check. So that should give me my glory, which is 2, to add to things.
Okay, so you could see they tick their head ever so slightly as if looking in your direction, though the dark lensed goggles can't really give you a true indication of where they're looking. Give up. Leave this place and don't come back. You don't belong here.
And you don't control us? I'll answer to you.
I believe I'm the one with the gun right now.
Did he stop pointing it at Eliza?
For a moment, but then quickly jerked it back.
You are the one with the gun. I guess that puts you in a bigger position at the moment. But what happens when you don't have the gun? Or when you kill your hostage? You could walk away from this, from all of this, honestly. Do you really want to work for who you work for? Do you really think she's not just gonna use you for all you got and then throw you away when it's all over? Or eat you? You know what she is. You're just food to her. Why don't you walk away? Why don't you leave city? I'm sure you could rebuild somewhere.
Roll me a charisma and persuasion.
Can I apply my rhetoric specialty?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna spend a willpower. Six successes.
They pause for a moment, but then they kind of jerk their head. And why should I believe you? What makes your lies any better than theirs?
I'm not trying to use you. You came into my territory, not the opposite. I didn't invade your home. You invaded her home. Mary burned her to the ground.
Jessica, leave this place, and I won't kill you.
Let her go.
I can't do that.
Tuesday can't do that?
Yeah.
Why can't you do that?
Because they said if I do this job, they'll give me what I want. Get out of here. You don't want any part of this.
What is it that you want?
I don't want to hurt anymore.
Hurt people? Emotionally hurt? Physically hurt? There's a lot of hurt.
Just leave. You could see them start to squeeze on the trigger menacingly.
Hey. I can't let you take her.
Have it your way. And she whips out the gun and tries to fire on Aiden. Aiden, roll me a dexterity and athletics. Or I should say and they, because they are not gendered.
Glabro has a +2 to physical tests.
Hmm? I should say we're in combat, so declare your intention. They are firing on you.
I'm going to try and move out of the way. If anything, if I can get behind them, that would be ideal.
Okay.
But 5 successes.
All right, Jester, what's your intention?
I'm going to try to shift into Glabro and tackle her. Them.
Tackle them. Okay, so go ahead and give me the 1 rage check, and then give me a strength and brawl. However, you will be at a 2 dice penalty because you are at a minor action to shift. Okay, so as you go to tackle them out of the way, they fire off at Aiden, the bullet just narrowly missing Aiden and hitting the dirt behind him, or next to him, as he circles around. But you do collide into the side of both of them, both Eliza and the individual, knocking them to the ground, causing Eliza to squirm free and immediately start running off out of grips of the individual. They wheel around on you and start wrestling, trying to levy the gun at you. Next round, declare your intentions.
Going to foot on the throat and try and rend the gun from their hand.
Okay. Jester.
Actually, I will. I lost a die. I'll get it later. Seeing what Aiden's gonna do, can I assist him?
Sure. Yeah, you know what? I'll let you do that. So you can add
Okay.
an additional die to your strength and brawl pool there, Aiden.
Grappling specialty?
Mm-hmm.
Basically, I'm just wrestling with her, trying to distract her
Them.
while Aiden.
Y'all got me confused with the her thing. Them.
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 8, no crit, just standard.
Okay, so easy enough. Pressing one of your large one of your large knees into them as you kneel down, you rent the gun free from their hand, pulling back. They immediately go down to reach down to their side and pull out a knife that also seems to be gleaming with the silver and try to swipe at you. But we'll do that in the next round. Declare your intentions.
Going to take the shotgun that's in his hand and try and use that to smack the knife out of
Okay.
out of the hand.
Give me a. That'll be a strength in melee.
Okay.
Jester, what are you doing?
I'm gonna attempt to. Okay. Headgear. Like, how is the headgear strapped on?
It is a helmet that is strapped under the chin. They have kind of like a. Actually, it's a full face helmet because they are using a voice modulator with goggles over the eyes. That is making it hard to see their face, but it is strapped in under the chin.
Okay, actually, then I'm just going to. I know he's gonna try to knock the thing. I'm gonna try to basically get their arm to where they can't swing. So
you want to try and lock the arm?
Yeah, I want to lock their arm.
Okay, so give me a strength and brawl as well.
Okay. Six successes with a crit.
Okay. So easily enough, the two of you disarm and detain this individual, keeping them pinned to the ground. They are wrestling and writhing under your grasps, but you are both too strong that you keep them down. Combat is over for the moment, as they have no other alternative. You have completely disarmed them, and they cannot overpower you in strength based off of your forms.
Jester, can you text Aspen and let her know what's going on? I'll keep this person here for a moment.
Sure, tie them up.
Yep.
You
Aspen
might
may
as
have
well
questions.
kill me.
That might be still, but gonna tie you up and just have a small little talk. And pick them up, keeping them restrained, and move them over to a chair and get the rope and tie them.
I'm gonna hurry to my phone or head back into the RV and grab my phone and text Aspen, letting her know what happened.
Okay. We'll transition. After receiving a text message and alerting Lucas and Artie, you've all made your way to Lettuce Lake Park. And when you arrive, you see that Aiden and Jester have a detained individual in riot gear strapped to a chair. Eliza is off on the perimeter in lupus form, sitting there but buckling a little bit as they try to maintain their composure stoically off to the side. The individual, in the time it's taken them to get there, has fallen silent and refuses to respond to any probing or questions since.
What happened? What's going on? She runs towards them as soon as the car stops.
One, they showed up while Jester and I were asleep. Chloe set off an alarm, ran over. They were in Eliza's trailer. From that point, they fired off a gun. Then we ended up having a little talking to after they grabbed Eliza and was holding her to gunpoint. This person then turned the gun on me. We then wrestled them to the ground to remove the shotgun and the knife. They're over there. Some shiny bullets and a really shiny blade. They said that they have no choice, that they have to do this.
Speaking of which, Chloe is still unconscious.
I would have, by this time, I probably would have taken her into the RV. It looks like Chloe was drugged.
Do you know with what?
I couldn't tell exactly. Some sort of chemical. It was around the mouth, so if movies say anything, it was probably chloroform, but just
Could have been
saying.
a lot of things. Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you checked the perimeter to make sure there's no one else? There's no other danger?
They
As
said
she
we were.
looks over.
You
They
hear
said
a
that
yip
we're-
from Eliza.
All right, Aspen. You want to do this? You want me to do it?
She'll stare at Lucas for a minute. Go ahead. And she's gonna walk over to Eliza to make sure she's okay.
So you look at Eliza. She seems to be favoring one of her legs a little bit, but nothing that really requires mending. Just old lady and still recovering, but nothing wounded.
Okay, I'm gonna just make sure she gets into the RV with Chloe so they can be together.
Lucas, as you approach the riot-geared individual, their helmet is still on, and they just look over in your direction. As you
Yeah,
get closer, so you're the new friend.
You're a pro. Geared up good. By yourself? It's ballsy. Okay. Squat down and get himself on eye level, and then I will activate Icy Chill of Despair.
They do have a helmet on, and the visor isn't able to make you make eye contact with them at the moment.
I'm going to reach over and not aggressively, but just click the button on the clasp and just pull it up slowly as the shadows start lengthening around me and coalescing around my face.
As you remove the helmet, what you see is not a female, as has been predicted, but is a male. Looks to be in his early to mid 20s with blonde hair or brown hair and boyish good looks as Leon Moreno. A little bit more worse for wear, stares with dead eyes in your direction as the black inky tendrils and the icy chill of despair washes over. Doesn't seem to have any noticeable effect on him.
You're a tough nut, aren't you?
Stop, 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 stop. I'm moving forward.
Lucas will stand up and back away. But I'll leave the feeling up because it doesn't affect the pack.
Going
know
to kneel
this one?
before him. What are you doing here?
I gave you a chance to leave. It's the least I could do. Even though you lied to me. You pushed me away.
I pushed you away for your protection. You weren't supposed to be with them. You weren't even supposed to know about them.
Now I do. You might as well finish the job, Jess.
Or what? You'll just go back working for that monster?
What's the difference? Love one monster, work for another. At least they never lied to me.
She murders us.
I don't work for her.
Oh, you think the ones you work for is any better? Let me guess, it's Bateman. Bateman that got my friends arrested. Bateman who took me in. Now I don't even know where she is.
She's fine.
No, she's not. She's not fine with them. None of you are fine with them. They eat people. I don't eat people.
No, you just kill them, don't you?
No, I try really hard not to kill people. I tried to kill vampires.
No, you see, they explained it to me. They explained how it all works. See, they didn't like killing people. They were trying to keep people alive. What's good's a food source if you just run it out? Then you had to go and destroy the plasma banks. Now,
Oh.
the young and stupid ones are killing people.
Oh, hold on. You mean, and I'll pull up the pictures of the people. You mean food banks like this? That they had people
Those
in
people were
comas.
alive. You blew them up.
I didn't blow them up. And I'm fucking tired of getting blamed for it. By the vampires.
Yeah, at least you get to stay here. Where are the others?
Other...
You know, our friends.
They're safe. I'm staying here to try to fight the monsters that are fucking with your mind.
What did you do, Jess, other than be a monster fucking with my mind? I'm sick of being played.
I didn't play you. I just couldn't tell you what I was, and I tried to keep you out of it. But then it got too dangerous, and I had to choose. And if I chose you, I wouldn't be the same person, and we'd never be safe, and you would never be safe.
I'm never gonna be safe. I'm in a world where monsters exist, so might as well become one, right? Got a better chance. And this was my shot at earning it, and you've ruined it. So, finish the job. Or they will.
I'm not gonna kill you.
You already have.
I'd like to do an insight check.
Sure.
While she's doing that, I'm gonna slink closer to Lucas and just kind of whisper at him. Can you smell him? See if he's got any of them on him.
Lucas nods at her.
Three successes. Is he
What-
bluffing, or is he completely...
What
Like-
you are detecting from his words, from his demeanor, from his behavior is a person who is dead inside, effectively. Now, whether it's from conditioning, whether it's from circumstances, he is, in his mind, telling his complete truth.
I'm gonna use scent of the true form.
Okay.
Spend a willpower on that. There we go. 4 successes.
What you smell, what you discover isn't entirely human, but mostly. There is a taint or a darkness on him, a scent on him. He has been influenced by vampires, more specifically their blood, and probably pretty significantly.
I'll lean over into Aspen's ear and whisper, yeah, he's got them in him. He's a thrall.
So you came here, what? To take Eliza? Take her back? Kill her?
Her and the dog. Apparently I didn't account that there would be so many of you here. There hadn't been in the past.
Who are you working for?
The real one's in charge. The shadow
gonna-
government, I suppose.
Jester.
You shouldn't believe everything they say. You don't know if it's the truth or not.
Should I believe everything you say, Jess? Because that didn't work out for me either.
Stand up. Turn, look at Aspen. Do whatever. I need a walk. I'm walking out into the woods.
Care to be more specific on who you work for directly?
You already know. Do you think it'd surprise you? They're not going to tell me anything. I know what I am to them. This was my chance to be something more. At least that's something that they were honest about. They told me what I was to them. But they also told me what I could be.
So you chose this?
Not at first, no. But after I lost everything worth fighting for, what did it matter?
And what happens when you no longer have them around?
You really think I'm not gonna have them around? You think you're gonna win this? All you did was piss them off. They were willing to ignore the nuisance that you were before, and now they're coming for you.
Answer the question, please. What happens if you don't have them around?
There are always more.
If you can't use them for what you need, what happens to you?
I don't know. I've never tried not to. I know that at first it was like a sickly feeling, but I didn't push it. They said I'd die. could be a lie, but they haven't lied to me about anything else. So why lie about that?
What was your end goal? To come here, get us to leave, kill us all? What was your end goal in all of this?
They told me if I could take down the old lady and the dog, they'd bring me in.
Thought you said they didn't lie to you. One of you? Honestly? Come on.
What do you want me to say? What was I going to say? No?
You could have.
Not to them. Even if I did say no, they'd have made me do it anyway. And I understand how bad that sounds. But what different is it than anything else? We say we reject the government, but the government still keeps doing what it does. We say we reject the police, but the police still do what they do. Makes sense. They're the ones behind it all. So what? I'm gonna go down in some glorious sacrifice, become a martyr? Nobody will even know I existed. And like I said, he looks over in the direction that Jester had walked off in. I had no inspiration left.
I'm gonna reach out and kind of take Aspen by the upper arm and pull her back away back towards Aiden. Once we get over there, I'm gonna look at both of them. I know she said whatever, and I know he said just kill me, but he is too valuable. And I don't want to reduce anybody to that, especially in the condition that he's in. But he's got them inside of him, and he's been on the inside. This isn't going to be pretty, and it's not going to be nice. But he's too valuable. Even if we just cut him loose now, we need to have a plan for that to follow him.
You're suggesting we keep him, figure out what he knows?
I'm sure you're not wanting me to do the things that I know how to do. That's fair. I get that. I don't want to do them anymore, considering there's a connection there between him and Jester. That just feels wrong to me, but we can't just kill him, and we can't just cut him loose, so we need to figure out something else. Your friend might have an answer.
You want to put him in a position to either torture him or have him slowly die here.
I don't want to torture him. I don't. I honestly don't. And I don't think he's going to die anytime soon. But I don't know enough about what's going on with him to make a good educated guess on that. I know my fair share, but I don't know enough about that, what he has going on.
I'm not making a decision. I'm waiting till Jester comes back. If anybody gets to decide, it's her. She's lost enough.
That's fair.
And give her some space to take a breath, but ultimately she's going to make this decision because it is up to her to make.
Speaking of
Yeah, I
which,
mean-
Jester, where are you going?
Not far, just enough to actually catch a breath and not burst into tears while trying to talk to my ex-boyfriend, now turned minion of the people trying to destroy my pack.
As you think back, you recall the entire relationship in flashes. The face you haven't seen in several months. Maybe you've thought about him now and then, but you've kind of pushed him out of your mind and moved on. But it all comes flooding back. And as you think about certain key moments that stand out in your mind. That interrupted dinner at the Checkers restaurant, where you were approached by the representatives of Ballard, Anderson, and Bateman, where Leon had found you because of Regina and tracked you down. His probing questions asking for more information about your new friends. This only brings out more questions. How long has he been with them? How long has he been a thrall? And how long does he think he's been? Aiden, you were going to say something, and I cut you off.
Aspen, do you want me to go get her? You guys got this guy?
Between us, we can take care of it. Go find her.
Okay. He'll stay in Hamid and keep his phone on him just in case, and try and go get Jester.
Okay. Roll me a wits and survival. It's low difficulty because I don't think she was cared about being followed or trying to hide her tracks.
4.
Easy enough. You were able to catch up with her eventually where you find her in the woods.
Hey, Jess? You good?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you need anything?
No, let's go back.
Okay. And Aspen's got some things she wants to run by you.
Okay.
You sure you're all right? And
Mm-hmm.
I don't quite understand what this is, but I can assume that this is kind of hard.
Kind of like what happened to Stone.
At that point, he's gonna go over like, come here.
I'll go into his arms.
It's gonna be okay. You know, like pat her head a few times and rub her back. You got this, and whatever decisions you make, we'll support.
Okay, thanks, Aiden.
Anytime. But let's go talk to your
Aspen.
ex. Yeah, talk to Aspen and then deal with that.
Yeah.
Okay. You'll walk next to her back to Aspen.
Okay. As you return, Aspen and Lucas, were you doing anything in the meantime while they were off?
Yeah, as they leave, kind of walk, or as Aiden leaves. Lucas, I have a very serious question, and I need advice. And I know that's not very alpha of me, but what are the potentials if we keep him?
If he's telling the truth and they sent him as a test, he's a probe at best. Check our defenses and see how good we are. If he doesn't come back, they're going to assume that we have a higher level of defense, which is not incorrect. It was stupid sending him by themselves, so they did it on purpose. If we let him go, he'll rat us out. No question there. I don't think he's necessarily missed if he stays.
But keeping him here is essentially torture. I don't mean what you would be doing in any way, shape, or form. I mean just having him here.
Whatever they did to him, it can't be forever. I don't understand how it works, whether it was that messed with his mind or it's something different. You're going to need to ask one of them for that. Not me. But it can't be forever. And when it wears off, it's probably, if I had to make a guess, going to be like coming down from something real bad. And it's going to suck for him a lot. But if we can get him through the other side, we save at least one.
I don't want her to lose anyone else. Even with what he said, she doesn't deserve that.
Yeah, she's had a rough run. I think if we can do something, we should do something.
I agree.
Okay. So at this point, they return, and the pack is reformed.
I will start to go to Aspen and then walk back to Leon. How long? How long have you been giving them information about me?
Jess,
Were you the reason Bateman, Anderson, and Ballard found me in the first place?
no. No, not originally. It's all kind of blurry, to be honest. Spotty. There's things that I can remember clearly and things that are hazy and foggy and don't really, I don't know, like being in a dream or drunk. Don't remember it well, but I do remember that I wanted to believe you didn't know, that you were just with a bad crowd. I didn't know what the deal was or what they wanted. I just knew I wanted to protect you. And I was trying to protect you. And they told me I could if I told them about the others. And then when you sent me away, they told me you were one of them. They told me what you couldn't. They told me what you wouldn't. And I couldn't protect you anymore.
So, when I asked you what they had come to ask you about, you lied to me about it. So I'm not the only one that lied about things.
I did it for us, you did it for you.
Yep. Once again, I'm selfish. Turn and walk back to Aspen. They've messed with his mind.
They're good at that. You're not selfish, Jester. You did it for him. I know you did. I know you did.
Doesn't matter anymore. He's still here. In that outfit, working for them.
I want to preface this. We're going to do whatever you want us to do. If you want him gone, you say the word, he's gone. But there is a potential. We could, looks over to Lucas, wean him. We're not sure how it all works. But there's a potential. We don't know what we don't know.
Could it help him?
I'm not promising anything we don't know, but it's an option we have.
It's probably not going to be pretty.
Could ask our friend if he knows some things about it.
If there's a way to help him from clearing whatever they did to him, I'm for that option.
We would always have the alternative if need be, if it doesn't work. There's a lot of places out here that...
Aiden.
Okay.
Then that's what we'll do. You do understand that means he's probably going to stay here, which means you'll have close proximity to him. And if that's something that you're not comfortable with, I could send you back with Artie and I can stay here until we figured it out.
No. I'll stay here.
Okay. I'll talk to our friend, see what I can find out. If it ever gets too much, you tell one of us and we'll will take over.
Okay.
So with a plan in mind, the intention right now is to detain Leon, the ghoul, and hold him until you have further information from Spud about what can be done to either help his condition, or at least in hopes of finding out some more information until the inevitable comes to pass. Unexpected visitors can be good, can be bad, and can sometimes fall somewhere in between. What we know is we're all trying to make our way through this world of darkness. And when our eyes are opened to the truth, when the veil is lifted, when the masquerade is shattered, it's impossible to go back. The actions we take from that moment on set us on a path, an undeniable path, that always leads to the same end. We're going to close tonight's story with a transition. In this transition, we find a gnarled, disgusting, bat-eared individual sitting behind a computer, typing and transcribing, and as they do so, a live audio feed plays of the conversation our pack has been having. He continues to type fervently, and he brings up profiles of Aiden, Aspen, Lucas, and Jester with little bits of information, some areas blanked out, nothing filled in yet, but just notes, bullet-pointed notes about each of you. And then he brings up a profile of Spud. And that is where our session comes to a close. Thank you so much to everybody watching at home. Thank you so much to our players for playing tonight. Stay tuned to St. Pete by Night. We've got all of our programming back, so you can see What the Hell Is That on Friday. You can see Bloody Strings on Sunday. And of course, we've got After Dark on Saturday. Lots and lots of great content coming at you. Go follow St. Pete by Night on all the social media down below to stay up to date with all of the news about this wonderful community. We've got play-by-post coming soon, so if you're interested in getting in the world of darkness, head on over to the Discord and join up with us and become a part of the action. But for this wonderful cast, I'm Kent saying good night, everybody, and we'll see you next time. Have a lovely evening.